Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. Not really feeling the best this morning. Man, my voice is deep this morning. Wow. Yeah, I'm still dealing with throat issues. Throat's not really feeling 100% today, but the show must go on, you know. Yeah, one of my main watches this morning is BBGI. We're watching BBGI. We're keeping an eye on this one. Watching it. You know, this $2 level is super interesting. 230's got some confirmations, and then we got this pre-market high up here, as well as like 215. So like those four levels are what I'm watching for BBGI, but that one is on my list today. Let me go ahead and make my new watch list real quick. I don't think I've looked at TNAV yet. This is mostly what I got right now. That's about it right now. So like I had my first losing day in futures yesterday. I lost 122 bucks. I did not keep trading yesterday. I told you guys I wasn't, and I didn't. And so, you know, we can see I did have my first little loss yesterday in my futures account. Wait, oh no, that's last month. How do we just do all time? Let's do this quarter. Yeah, you can see the little pullback. And it is a demo because I'm working on getting funded, like I've always said, as a proprietary futures trader. So we'll see how that goes. But on this, we're trading real stocks and real money on this, obviously. But yeah, BBGI. We got ALSK gapping up. Hey. Oh man, I can't have. I'm sorry, Kyle. Man, if that ain't the truest statement ever, man. Honestly, my voice was so deep this morning, it surprised me. I was like, whoa, who's talking this morning? It's kind of, now it's not. But like, when I first started talking on stream this morning, I was like, whoa, man. You know, my voice was so deep when I first started talking. It's probably because I hadn't said a word this morning. Oh man, dude. Alright. We got ALSK gapping up here. This looks like it's got to be like an acquisition of some sort. Yeah. Hey, my YouTube stats aren't going down necessarily. Honestly, my YouTube stats have been going up. Like, if you guys saw, last 2 weekends I've been putting out a video each weekend, and they've hit 10,000 views quick. So they've got, what happened here is they got picked up in Google search is really what happened to these videos. My latest one is currently at 10,600 views, and so my YouTube stats are actually popping off a little bit. the stream has always been a little bit of a supplemental thing, and the videos are the main content. What else we got though? We got ALSK, but it's not really that good. We'll watch it, you know. JAKK is the other two. So like my real favorite ones are JAKK and BBGI. Those two are like the most legit in my opinion. Like we watch 580, we can watch the whole $1.06, 650 right here, and then 675 up here. That's about it. Maybe if we break under like this level, it's 550 level. For JAKK, we'll see what happens there. But a little bit, another slow day to be honest. I did pick out some new music, so let me know what you think. SNDL. Oh, we got ACB as well. Cannabis moving a little bit. Got a few confirmations at the pre-market highs up here. But yeah, guys, the dream is up. I had my first losing day in futures yesterday. I lost $122 total. I mean, it still leaves my my winning days at 92%, and I'm honestly still kind of bummed out about it. Whoa, I'm honestly a little bit bummed out about that. But hey, listen, we've been super green, you know. I finally got an average losing day in there, and that's all right. We're still $1,319, or no, we're still $1,200 basically. This is our current account right there, so we're still fine. First losing day out of 13 days, and so we did lose yesterday, but we kept it. We kept it at what I showed you guys at the end of the stream. You know, I lost $122, I think it was, which is fine. You know, losing days are gonna happen. I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. We got U. Quadruple U here this morning making some moves. It's not bad, but not great either. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and look up, I guess, some catalysts this morning, huh? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Sean? I'm gonna try to set my green tea, so just give me 1 second, because maybe it'll give me some energy that I desperately need this morning. Hey, it's election day. I'm ready for this to be over. There's too much nonsense, man. Too much polarized, divisive nonsense, man. Yeah, probably, Mike. I'm hoping so, brother. I'm hoping so, man. Yeah, I need like $1,800. Part of me is being a wimp in the challenge. Cause like, I'm not trying to gloat, but like, to be honest, like $120, $130, like $100 to reset is not that much for me. You know what I mean? Like, part of me really just wants to swing for the fences, and if I lose this account, I just lose it and I just try it again until I hit the profit target so it doesn't take so long. Because like, the last 2 weeks, which is what this is, it's been 13 days, so the last 2.5 weeks, you know, they have confirmed to me that I can be profitable in futures, 100%. Like, there's no question I'm a profitable futures trader. The next part is just impatience, you know what I mean? And like, part of me just wants to swing for it now. And I don't know, I'll have to make that decision on myself. Like, again, I mean, if we look at my challenge account in futures, again, it's certainly profitable. I mean, there's no question, this is profitable, like, no question. And so part of me is just kind of like, okay, well, why don't I just kind of swing for it and try to hit my profit target, and then I can kind of just coast. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm running at around 68%, 67% accuracy, actually. And if you excluded the break-even trades from the fees from the CME, then it would be like 70% accuracy, which is fine. AMBO is another one that I completely missed this morning. AMBO, guys, gapping up from 265 to 361s for AMBO. No, you got as many months as you want, but it is a monthly subscription. And so, you got as much, like, it translates over to the next month. It's not like it's just a 1 month time frame. If anything, I think they'd probably prefer you to take it slow and steady, not only because, I mean, you get charged again, but also because slow and steady is a larger, a more obvious confirmation of your trading skill, right? Like, anybody can swing for the fences and make $3,000 just kind of YOLOing it in the market. Very few people can methodically and slowly grind an account up to $3,000. And so I'm sure, considering the fact that they're going to be funding me with their hard-earned money, and that they're going to be risking their own money and putting that on the line to fund me as a proprietary trader, I'm sure they would more so prefer me to methodically and slowly grind it up like I have been. I mean, you can do as many restarts as they want. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that, Bubba. Thank you, brother. Hey, let me know what y'all think about this new music, man. I just picked it out this morning. Nah, I mean, it'll work. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, it would work, but I would have to reset probably once or twice. Which is alright. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. I think there's a few different, like, strategies you can implement in these funded account futures programs. In any funded account program, really. I think there's a few different strategies you can implement. One of them is methodically grinding the account up like I have been. And there's pros and cons to that. If you can do it within a month, it will be cheaper, certainly. But then the other option is just to kind of YOLO it and swing for the fences and get yourself up to the profit target, and then kind of coast with small trades after that. That way you hit your profit target, and then you can just kind of take small and steady trades to get the minimum number of trades in the mix. And while that is going to be more expensive of an option, it's going to be a faster option. And so it really just depends on what you want to do. I don't think either of those strategies for these type of proprietary funded account programs are wrong. Like, I don't think either of those are necessarily wrong. I think it's just pure preference, opinion, if you're going to do it. DDD is another one that I kind of missed this morning, grinding up. It's at 650 now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stay with it. This is Epidemic Sounds playlist for those asking where I got the playlist. Check out this song. This is one of my favorite songs. Listen to this song. This is probably my favorite song on the new list that I got. Oh man, we got Germans in here. Let's see what they're saying. Okay, yeah. No, I trade futures. So we got a few people asking me specifically about this funded account program. Like, the way it works is there's different stages, right? It's subscription based, and the base one, the $30,000 one, is $130 a month. right? And so basically, you have to make $2,000 in profit while following the rest of their rules. And then there's another stage after. But once you hit that $2,000 profit target and finish the stages, they fund you 30 grand as a proprietary futures trader with an 80% profit split. And this is like a true legit proprietary trading firm that is very highly reviewed. It's regulated in the US, I'm pretty sure. And it's a legit one. And so basically, if you take the 30K combine is what they call them, like combines, and you pass the combine, basically you prove to them that you can build up profit like this, then they fund you 30 grand, $30,000 as a proprietary futures trader. And so you basically just have to prove that you're profitable, which is the stage that I'm in now, and I think I'm certainly profitable. I think it's very self-evident. But I'm not in the 30K funding program. I'm in the larger one, so I am in the $50,000 program. But it's very cheap relative to most of these other ones. And if you want to check it out, there's the link. You can get 20% off by going through my link there. But yeah, like I said, I think they're very highly reviewed, and I think they're very legit as well. And so I'm honestly super excited to get funded, because I think these last 2 weeks have been very obvious. It's been very obvious how profitable I am in futures. And so it's exciting as another revenue source for me in the trading game, specifically as a proprietary futures trader, which I never thought I would say, because I never really wanted to get involved with futures like that. I'm mostly a stock trader. But once I saw how easily momentum in the S&P 500 translated over to the Emini, it's basically trading the same thing. If you can trade the SPY, the TVIX, the UVXY, if you can trade any of those, or basically if you can trade the S&P 500 on momentum, day trading it, then you can trade the E-mini. It's the same exact thing, basically. It's virtually the same thing. Sizing's a little bit different, but yeah. Hey, what's up, Caitlin? Yeah, you can come on stream today, Caitlin. Just let me know. Also, you're gonna have to resend the consent contract, Caitlin, just to give you a heads up. You will have to resend that consent contract. Let me get Discord up. My bad, I don't even have it up this morning. But yeah, you will have to resend that consent contract, unfortunately, just because it's a different day. I think we gave the consent for yesterday, November 2nd. You just got to resend it for today. Dude, what's with all the German in here, man? Alright, let me go ahead and read this. So I'm going to go ahead and look up the news for BBGI. This is Beasley Broadcast Group. They had third quarter EPS of a loss of 8 cents. They beat the loss of 27 cent estimate. They put in sales of 49.6 million, which was better than the 43 million estimate. So they put in a third quarter loss, but it was noticeably better than they expected. It was like a little bit over 3 times better than they expected. It was still a loss, but it went down from a loss of 27 cents per EPS to 8 cents. And so it's over 3 times better than they expected initially. So better than expected third quarter results. They did put in good sales numbers that beat the estimates as well for BBGI, and that's the catalyst, and that is the news here for it. So we'll see what happens here. We're watching it. Again, we have ALSK here. We're watching it. Keeping an eye on this $3 area. Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't just have day traders. I think she's an investor. She does a bunch of other stuff, so she could talk about investing if you guys, want to, listen to it. I just like having guests. I think having guests on here is fun. And, all right. yeah, it's definitely a little bit slow for sure. All right, so yeah, we got ALSK. Alright, so this is Alaska Communications, and they put out something that said, under the terms of their agreement, they may solicit superior proposals for third parties for a period of 30 calendar days through December 3rd. They're gonna acquire all outstanding shares. Affiliate of Macquarie is gonna acquire all the outstanding shares of Alaska Communications, which is ALSK. So this is an acquisition. What it kind of looked like, it's gapping up from like 191 all the way up to over 3 here. So a big move for ALSK. We'll see what happens. The other one I'm looking at is JAKK here, and this is my next favorite one that I'm watching. Like, if I had to pick 2 favorites specifically today, it would be JAKK and BBGI. This is Jack's Pacific, and they are up after the company reported better than expected third quarter EPS and sales results. I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird day, brother, with the election, you know, kind of looming over everybody's head here. But yeah, Jack's Pacific shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected third quarter EPS and sales results. So look at JAKK. What else we got, guys? We got anything else that I'm missing? I don't think so. AMC, maybe? Hey. AMC starting to rip here. It's at 243s. Oh, we also got like ACB, which is cannabis. No, my futures trading strategies are completely different, Leaf. They're just not the same. It's just completely different. Yeah, it's very... With scalping, my strategies are extremely short term. But yeah, but yeah. Yeah, no worries, Leaf. Yeah, mostly, like, with my scalping strategies on futures, like, they're just very short-term trades, and so it's like I'm taking advantage of, like, there's so many different influences that judge, and that there's so many different judgments that influence my trades, is what I was trying to say, and mostly, think about it, like, long up wicks indicating selling pressure, long down wicks indicating buying pressure, quick movement around half and whole dollars, about major confirmed support, breaking over support, holding as support, like just a lot of different influences, and I've tried to document those nuances the best I could in the videos I've been dropping, but it's to be honest, it's pretty complicated, the scalping system that I'm using, and I think part of it will only come with kind of trading the market every day. But yeah, I think the only good ones this morning, to be honest, are BBGI and ALSK. Like, with the overall market being how it is, it should be a fun day, I guess. But it is election day. To be honest, I'm ready for this to be over. I don't even care anymore. I just want this to be over. And so I'm gonna go ahead and quote this, and this is from MT Newswires, because I know Caitlin's gonna be hopping on soon. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and quote this, and this is from MT Newswires, and it says, quote, "Stock futures were higher, tracking equities in the global markets ahead of the voting in the U.S. presidential and congressional election. Investors may expect a fiscal stimulus package to pass next year if Democrats gain control of the White House," says analysts. And in economic data releases, the U.S. Red Book, which measures weekly comparable store sales at chain stores, discounters, and department stores, is going to be out at 8:55. That should have dropped 4 minutes ago. And yeah, that basically said that U.S. retail sales for the first 4 weeks of October plus is up 1.2% versus September, up 2% year over year. And so that might influence the market as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, so the market is green today. Here's the market, and I'm going to just keep reading this. Looking ahead, the September factory orders bulletin is slated for a 10 a.m. release as well. Economists expect orders to be up 0.6% from August. We have commodities with, let me see what else we got. We got PAA, which is Plains All-American Pipeline, making some moves. We got crude is down 3%. U.S. Oil Fund is down 2%. Natural gas is down 2.3%. The U.S. Natural Gas Fund is 3% down as well. Gold is down 0.6%. The Spider Gold Trust is up 0.7%. Silver's up 2%. The iShares Silver Trust is up 1.6%. DBVT, what's up, Sage? Yeah, like with futures leaf, it's mostly like, it's hard to explain, but it really like, you have to get, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's kind of like a flow state. And it only really comes with experience in trading and scalping. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a flow state to where it's hard to explain, to be honest. But, you know, just taking advantage of very short-term movement is what it is, you know? And sure, like, it's not the perfect system, but it certainly works. Oh, alright, yeah, Caitlin's here, let's see. Alright, so guys, so since Caitlin just joined, hey, can you, oh wait. Hey, what's up, can you hear me? Testing. Hello? No, there you go, I heard you. Hi. I'm doing okay. So, what's up, guys? This is Caitlin. Real quick, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the consent thing. So I have your permission. Do I have your permission to use your audio, likeness, and sound for this live stream specifically? And do you promise not to say anything controversial that could potentially get me a strike on YouTube?
Yes, you have permission.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what's up, Caitlin? So yeah, so for all of you guys, Caitlin is another YouTuber. She runs an investing in business channel. She also day trades, and so we're gonna have her on stream today.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Doing good. The market's kind of slow today, and I think hopefully it'll subside after the election. The slowness will subside after the election, hopefully, but you never know. You know, it's usually a solid. You know, we usually have a decent amount of volatility around this time of the year, just because of, you know, holidays usually improve the economy to a certain extent. Business booms during the holidays most of the time. But, you know, election years are a little iffy, I guess.
Yeah, this year especially has been crazy.
Right, for sure. It's been so polarized, and I'm just kind of the kind of guy that I'm just anti-politics. It's not that I'm anti-politics. I just try not to get super wrapped up in any of it, you know.
Politics, especially the last few years, have just been so divisive and
For sure.
just so polarizing. It's been so unhealthy, I think.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it to just be over. I'm honestly very excited that it's going to be kind of over today. There's still going to be some, you know, gloomy overhead, but, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, can you hear me a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you should be good. Let's do it. Let's ask the stream here. I did.
They say volume super low, so.
Okay. I think I had it a little bit too low originally.
Okay.
All right, so
cool.
You should be good now, I think.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. The music good?
So I turned the music off. Just let me put it back on. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn it down. The music's gonna be way too loud. Hold on. All right. Sorry. Anytime I have a guest, I have to like play with the sound a little bit. There we go.
For sure.
All right. So we should be good now. The music should be at like a reasonable level, I think. And then y'all should be able to hear Caitlin as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, what are you watching today?
BBGI looks good. I think that's kind of what everybody's watching. The market's pretty slow.
For sure.
But, yeah, I kind of wait to see. I do all of my kind of trading and everything when the market opens up, and I kind of, the first 5-10 minutes, watch what everything's doing.
Right. Yeah. I used to trade that first 5 to 10 minutes, and then I would just get killed in that first 5 to 10 minutes. It's a lot of traders get really attracted to trading the open, like the first 5 minutes, because, you know, it's the most exciting time of the day. But like, especially new traders, I always tell them like it's probably the right move to just wait. Very volatile time in that first, especially that first like 1 to 3 minutes. Very volatile time. Huge rips up and down, huge reversals that can happen very, very quickly, and especially in low float stocks, you know, you get halted. Just a bunch of just rough things can happen to momentum traders in that first 1 to 3 minutes. But there are some opportunities as well, so like we'll see what we get. I'm seeing BBGI, guys, is taking a huge drop down. It's actually breaking under $2 now, but a huge 1 minute candle.
It's crazy. Volume popped up. Huge sell off.
Yeah, over 1 million shares in that last minute too. Look at that. All right, so I'm gonna post some of this stuff. Let me see what else do we have. Can't hear music.
But I completely agree with you. I cannot wait for today to be over, an election to just be over.
Right. Yeah, for sure. The election, I'm just ready for it to be done. And I know everybody, like, I think most of the viewers here, from what I've seen, support Trump. And I think that's probably just because of they're traders, and so they're capitalists, and you know, most of the time capitalists lean right. I don't really have a say in it. I'm not really I don't really like either one, to be honest. I think they're both bad.
Yeah, I know. It's I was kind of going through a couple of forums last night, and it's like, it's America, and we could all we can come up with is Trump and Biden.
Right. That's the only options.
I know, right? We have geniuses in here.
Right. Like, those are the only options. Like, Biden's so old, and so you know, I don't think he's gonna make it through the first term. Let's be honest here. I don't think he's going to make it through the first term. And then Trump, I mean, Trump is Trump. I never thought Trump would get elected, to be honest, in the first place.
Nobody did.
Yeah. APVO, guys, look at APVO. APVO is popping off here the last 3 minutes. It's gapping up from where it closed at 6:30. And it's up to 850s now, 840s. And so breaking high. So APVO is the latest one. Let me see if I can find the news on it right now. This is Aptivo Therapeutics. They announced the first complete remission in the ongoing APVO 436 phase 1 clinical trial. And so, okay, so yeah, positive results from the phase 1 trial is basically what this is. But yeah, a huge rip up. This thing's up like 30-something%. And so a big move here for APVO. So I might add that one to my watch list as well, because that one is making some moves this morning.
It's interesting. I started with investing, and then I've been day trading for a while now, and live news can really just be hit or miss with the catalyst. It can really just move stocks or not. It's interesting.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of new traders get involved with day trading, and they think that they can just buy it when it has good news, or they think they can just wait for earnings to come out and just buy it on the positive earnings. But it's crazy in that regard, because it's like sometimes a stock will have good earnings and good news and it'll just tank, and it makes no sense whatsoever, but it happens pretty regularly in the market, and it's definitely a weird nuance to it that can get you trapped a lot of the time in some rough things.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see. Cool, I'm feeling a little bit better though. Yeah, sorry I had to cancel on you yesterday.
Hi, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit better, but not 100%. That's for sure. You know, I was supposed to have my endoscopy tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to cancel that because, yeah, I just don't feel like going to that sick. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Especially nowadays, if you're sick, everybody is super paranoid.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've been COVID tested like 5 times, and I've never honestly at this point. I kind of wish I had COVID just so I could get it over with because I've been COVID tested throughout the whole COVID year. I've had the flu type A, which is like the nastiest flu they have. And then I've had strep once, and then I've had these stomach issues, and now I have a cold, and so it's just been consistent, you know.
Wow.
But
You
never
have little kids,
COVID.
right?
What was that? Sorry?
You have little kids, right?
Yes. And they go to school, and that's probably a direct cause of it. I have a 6-year-old and a 6-year-old and 11-year-old. So, yeah, they don't know how to wash hands. They do, but they don't. You know?
It's our germ feast, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they build my immune system. That's the only optimism I can have from it, is that getting sick so much, hey, at least my immune system will be a little bit stronger. You know?
I know. Next year you'll be good.
Right. Optimism, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, the SPY is up today, which I'm surprised. I didn't think it would be up today just relative to the election, you know. Like, I didn't think it would be up today just because the election was today. But the SPY is up a solid amount. The S&P is up. What's your take on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought that the market would kind of be down a little bit yesterday because of the lockdowns in France and the UK.
Right.
I thought there would kind of be an overlap of that, but it doesn't seem like the news is really doing much and affecting the stock market much. So we'll see what happens today.
Yeah, hopefully we get some type of action. I don't, you know, you got to be careful though, guys. There could be a lot of different influences to the market today, but hopefully in futures. Yesterday was my first losing day in futures this whole time, and like that's basically just trading the S&P 500. I think with futures, most of the time I'm just shorting. Like that's my favorite thing to do in futures because I think panic is such a strong emotion in people that like when it drops, you usually have a little bit more follow through. In not only stocks but the S&P 500 as well. So hopefully, I'm not going to say I hope the market goes down, but I kind of hope the market goes down. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what you would expect for.
Right.
Yeah.
The election, hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I don't know. You never know what's going to happen now for the polling. It's like everybody says Biden's going to win or Trump's going to win. And
Right.
2016, everybody said Clinton was going to win.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
For sure. And that's why like I'm not even I've heard a lot of people that are like, no, Biden's got it in the bag. And I'm sitting there, I don't think he does. Like, I think Trump will probably win. And I'm not saying I want Trump to win either. I just think Trump will most likely win because I find it, I don't know. I think Biden, it's hard to explain. Like, I think Biden was a bad candidate for the left, and I'm very socially liberal as well. Like, so I'm not rooting against the Democrats because like I'm mostly socially liberal. I'm very financially conservative and socially libertarian in some ways, if you will, but not completely because I disagree with them some too.
And I think a lot of people are.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most reasonable people are right in the middle. I think is what most people are in different ways in the middle, but in the middle regardless. You know.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, it's definitely the Democratic versus Republican Party is definitely divided America.
Oh, for sure.
So this is one of the elections where I have no idea who is going to win. I really don't. So
Me neither.
We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be an event at least, but I'm so ready for it to be over. At this point, it's not that I don't care, but I kind of don't care, you know? I'm just ready for it to be done is really what I'm like. I'm just ready for it to be over with. I'm ready for everybody to stop arguing over it and just let it end, you know?
It's just all the negativity is so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Gargle with 50/50 water, hydrogen peroxide, bro. Yeah, I mean, I got this Vapo Cool sore throat spray that I've been using. It kind of just numbs my entire throat. It helps a little bit.
Well, that's so cool. It like numbs your entire mouth. Right.
Yeah, it numbs my entire mouth. It just makes it bearable to a certain extent.
Right. Yeah.
You
have a cold.
Oh, man, it came around in the worst time too. If anybody's been tracking my illnesses, just not the right time for me to get sick right now. At least it wasn't the flu, but
Right.
we do have MARK pushing up here from 104 to 110. Not a huge range for this one. I'm trying to remember what this stock is about. I was gonna say crypto, but actually thinking about it, I don't think it is. Let me see. What is Mark about, guys? I've traded it so much before.
UGI is kind of pushing up a little bit, but it tanked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did. Oh, it did drop after that. I wonder why. Might be a big trader. Let's see. So yeah, it's interesting. Like most penny stocks don't hold, but I do see penny stocks that I trade pretty consistently, or not that I necessarily even trade, that I see pretty consistently. I've seen JAKK a lot before as well, and it's gapping up. KOPN is another one that is a former runner that is gapping up a little bit today. AEMD is another one. None of these have enough volume for me to be interested in it though.
Really low in the market today.
Yeah, especially in penny stocks too. You would think penny stocks would be a little bit more immune to the election slowness, but apparently just everything's slow.
Yeah. And I've found, especially in the last couple of weeks, people have really kind of clung on to one penny stock for the day.
Right.
And the volume has just been in like a couple of penny stocks, 1 or 2 penny stocks.
Right.
So definitely interesting.
Yeah, like one penny stock will have all the volume and the rest of them will just be slow, you know.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Hit the like button.
Yeah. Oh, also, y'all go check out Caitlin's channel. Here, I'll post it real quick. Let me find it. Yeah, y'all, she's got a channel on investing and trading, and not only talks about investing and trading, but business as well. If you want to tell them about it, you can. I'll find your link and post it for you.
Yeah, I just talk about everyday finance, kind of. So I just want to help people be educated, because I think that's a major flaw, especially with schooling, and there's just not enough education about finance and
For sure.
how to money.
Right.
So.
Yeah. There should be classes in high school about not only finance but taxes as well. And you know, instead they have stuff like home ec and nonsense that you don't really need. But I think taxes and finance are something that everybody should really learn, especially because I think when you got an adult, you're lost a lot of the time. A lot of people are just lost when they get started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the future, I definitely want to do videos on taxes and how to explain taxes and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits if you know how to work taxes. Like I'm gonna tread lightly because I don't, I'm not super tax inept, but stuff like S corp, basically paying yourself a salary and then being able to write off expenses in business is very valuable. To just overall saving money and giving yourself more capital to grow businesses. But again, it's something that a lot of people don't know and don't learn because they just never hear anything about it.
But I just made a video on credit, and then obviously the investing and trading side of it. So yeah, just to educate people is good.
Yeah, for sure. Zeno says, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Zeno said, what most people fail to realize is Trump has lost 4 states from 2016. Yeah, that might be true. Like I said, I really have no idea. But I do think that if you're going by what the media tells you, it's probably off a little bit on both sides, And so I don't think, especially when you consider last year, or the last election, if you go by what the media says, it's probably not right. Of course, they're going to try to make people think that one side or the other has got it locked up, sewed up. But I don't think they do. I think it's going to be a very close election, to be honest. And it's like Caitlin said, this is one of the elections where I genuinely do not know. Most of the time I'm like, okay, this person's going to win and this person's not. To be honest, though, last election I thought Hillary was going to win. Like I was super convinced Hillary was going to win. And so when Trump won, I was actually very surprised, just based off of what the media was saying, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And that was definitely, it's the difference between 2016 and now is I don't think as many people are listening to the mainstream media.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think most people understand how biased both sides can be, you know. So
Yeah, it's a really important thing to understand.
right, for sure. You heard news say BTC time to sell. ALSK is an acquisition. Yeah, it's an acquisition. We'll see. And I'm noticing my views are even a little bit slow today. I think views are going to be slow today because a lot of people were out voting, to be honest. Like, I know a lot of people that were super pro-Trump aren't here. And so I think a lot of people were out early voting.
Hopefully. I mean, I hope everybody's voting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got to talk a little bit about politics today, guys. I'm like, Caitlin, don't say anything controversial, but let's talk about politics, you know? But not.
Just a conversation,
right.
I think.
Yeah. I try to keep it unbiased and reasonable. Like I said, if anybody here knows me, they know, like, I'm very middle ground. I don't chill for either side at all. You know, I probably make both sides hate me, to be honest, and that's how I would actually like it.
At the same time, politics do, and the news do affect stocks.
Right.
Penny stocks, I'm not sure as much, but
I think they're just slowing them down. And yeah, sorry guys for talking politics. It's not that I'm trying to. I think it's just such a big overarching theme of today being election day that, you know, everybody's kind of wrapped up in the political stuff here. We do have INSP, Inspire, gapping up a little bit. ANET, if you're looking at mid and high caps like ANET, CRUS. But my main three watches, if we're looking at stocks today, guys, is ALSK. No, not ALSK. That's an acquisition. BBGI is number 1. JAKK is number 2. And then APVO is number 3. Those 3 stocks are really what I'm paying the most attention to this morning. Those 3. We also have something like ISIG, which I did make some money on. I believe it was yesterday. It's under $1. If it breaks over $1, we might keep an eye on that. And then if you like these really cheap stocks, you can look at like SNDL, which is a cheap stock, but it does have okay volume relative to some of these other ones. AMBO maybe as well. AMBO is another one I completely missed. And this one's kind of honestly setting up for the crossover. So yeah, those 4, I'm going to go ahead and put these here just so you guys can kind of see what I'm mostly focusing on. But these 4 or 5 stocks are my main, you know, watches today. I think these are the ones that have the best volume and that might look okay relative to most of the other ones. What was this other one? AMBO. So yeah, these 4 are my top.
I am looking at BBGI. We'll have to watch that at the open.
Right. Yeah, hopefully we get some type of movement today. One of the strategies I've been using a lot in the market is like quick pullback strategies. Like if you guys hear Eric talk about his bungee pullback, I think is what he calls them. I trade a very similar strategy to that, but it's so like he trades it on the way down. Like if a stock is dropping down to a whole dollar of 2, he'll like buy it when it hits 2 and then scalp it with like 1 or 2 seconds, like in and out very, very quickly just to catch a very slight bounce. I usually look for like big breaks above whole dollars and then pullbacks to that support, like in like 1 candle, and then I scalp it in and out quickly. So it's kind of similar to Eric's, but a little bit different. But I've been using that strategy more and more lately as the crossover has not presented itself much with the slowing markets. But we'll see what we get today. Who's saying, you're betting on the election? Hey, brave man. I'm not, you know, like I said, I'm completely oblivious to anybody who might win. We'll see, you know. Just remember, guys, regardless of who wins, you know, we're all brothers and sisters here, you know, just, you still gotta, show love. That's the best way I can put it. Respect the outcome and show love either way, no matter what happens. Let's see, ALSK. Another one's TNAV. I'm still watching DBVT as well from yesterday. Some cannabis stocks moving too. ACB.
Yeah, this by itself is pretty not moving much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just penny stocks have been slow. I know even Trader Mike took last week off just based off of this, how slow everything was. Mm-hmm. And like I don't blame him. Wednesday, not last week, but like the Wednesday before last, or no, yeah, it was last Wednesday I think. Last Wednesday was very difficult, a very tough day. Last Wednesday, I remember a lot of people. Did any of you guys lose money last Wednesday? Because last Wednesday was just a brutal day. I remember I had my biggest loss in weeks.
Yeah, for me it wasn't too bad, but this past couple of weeks has been just really slow.
For sure. And hopefully we get some increases. Usually Christmas is like in penny stocks especially, like if anybody here is new to penny stocks, like usually the most volatile and like money making time for penny stocks is the holidays, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, October even. So it usually like, maybe not October, usually it's like November, December, and January it's like where all the penny stock traders make their money. Because usually we have a ton of parabolic movers at that time. It was almost a little bit different this year to where, you know, earlier in the spring, we had a lot of crazy moves with like Kodak and like, you know, a lot of these other huge parabolic moves we've had in the market. And now that winter time is here, it's a little bit slower, which is definitely a different dynamic than usual. But I do think, again, I think election time is influencing that for sure.
Especially because in March and April, it was such a huge time for penny stocks and they were just blowing up.
Right. Yeah, for sure. They were going crazy too. Kodak, I was surprised that Kodak was making those huge runs.
That was an insane move, yeah.
Yeah, somebody else said they lost $1,100 on Wednesday. Yeah, $400 lost robbery. Yeah, Wednesday was rough, brother. Wednesday was rough, man. I just remember I was in something and like it just tanked on me so fast. And it wasn't even, I guess it wasn't like one big move in one stock. It was just that everything looked good and then just failed. Like every momentum strategy just started to go up and then just tanked down and failed. It was rough. Somebody's asking, is ACB a move? I don't know. It's a cannabis stock. I know ACB. I've watched it for years now, and it's basically stayed the same, maybe down a little bit, yeah, from the election. You know, you have different sectors that pop off, guys, and so if you don't really focus on sectors, like you have different sectors that pop off. I'm trying to think of how long ago it was, like a year or two ago. It was maybe a year and a half ago. Let me see. Yeah, so this was back in 2018, 2019, you had the cannabis boom. And so you had stocks like ACB, you had stocks like TLRY go up to over 300, or go up to 300. You had stocks like CGC is still kind of moving. It's probably my favorite one if I had to pick a cannabis stock, like CGC, APHA. And so you had a cannabis boom in 2018. And then everything kind of died down with COVID. Legalization talk slowed, and so cannabis stocks have been losing momentum since then. And so that's what ACB is, and that's all I can really think about when I see ACB. Is it used to be at $150, it's at $4 something now. So I'll watch it. The float I think is fairly large for ACB. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see my stock bot. Where is it at?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna move too much.
Right. Yeah, the float is 121 million, so fairly large float relative to these other low float penny stocks. So smaller range, less momentum, less potential, in my opinion. And we could watch it. I'm not saying it's not going to run. It's a real company, and so it might actually run relative to some of these other penny stocks. But, you know, am I super excited about it? No, not necessarily. Yeah, TLRY. Yeah, Mitch and I used to always talk about when TLRY was at 300, we had people arguing with us. We would say this thing's not going to hold. Like, what is this thing doing at 300? And people would argue us saying, no, it's going to go up to 500 plus. And now TLRY is down to what? $7. And so, and listen, I'm pro cannabis legalization. I hope they legalize it, but I understand. Yeah, it's a ways off, I think. All right, guys.
Yeah.
2 minutes before the bell. All right, let's do this. Let's get everything ready.
Yeah, I'm in Colorado, where cannabis was kind of the first to legalize weed.
Right.
It definitely has been. There's been a huge boom in economy, and
right,
especially in Denver and Colorado. But yeah, it's just been crazy.
Yeah, Mitch actually moved there. That's where Mitch is. So Mitch actually moved to Colorado. He used to live in Florida, but I think a lot of it caused the economy to boom, which is why I'm surprised like a place like Texas, who is like all about their economy, hasn't considered it more, in a larger way.
Yeah. Yeah, you have that kind of social versus fiscal policy there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you could do ballot initiatives and stuff like that, but like, there's pros and cons to ballot initiatives. Obviously, ballot initiatives give some power to the people, and I obviously think that's the right move. I think that's a good thing to give power to the people. At the same time, though, sometimes the public can be very emotional in like negative ways, right? And like you saw that after 9/11. And like you see how the public can turn very negative and just kind of like bad in a lot of ways. And so in that regard, ballot initiatives can hurt things as well. In the end, I think I'm probably more for them than against them, but there are pros and cons to it. All right, guys, here's the bell. Yep. Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at BBGI. That's the kind of main stock I'm looking at right now.
Right. Yeah, that one's the one I got up to. And we'll see, It is a little bit setting up for the crossover. I like the consolidation before the bell, bringing the two moving averages closer.
Yeah. JAK just made a drop.
Yep. All right, so yeah, here goes BBGI. If you like really cheap penny stocks, guys, SNDL is moving a little bit. No, it's not. T and AV showing up on the scanners, but it's not really moving much. SPY's heading up a little bit. There goes BBGI. We'll see about maybe a few shares. Oh, what was that? Sorry.
It might make a crossover. I'm going to hold a little bit. I want to wait a couple of minutes to see what it does, but...
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with you in that way. I think I would much prefer it to drop like it is now. So I'd much prefer it to drop a little bit and then give us a red to green move with the crossover. I think that's going to be a much stronger move. I also don't like $2 being right above it because I feel like it might break that high of the first 1 minute candle and then get rejected at $2.
It is way up below the VWAP, so you don't really have that concern of resistance there. But
exactly. All right. Oh, so you do trade the crossover. I can tell. You kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I like the MACD. The crossover is good, but and pullbacks, but I don't know. It's kind of just everything. The RSI I look at.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. MACD basically, for those that here that don't know the MACD, it's basically like a crossover indicator. Like that's basically what it tells you. Is I think the MACD, like the generic MACD, uses. See, I don't hate this though. Let me try. I'm gonna try if I get filled.
Get in, yeah.
All right, I'm in with 50 shares here. But no. So what I was gonna say is like the MACD is like a crossover indicator. I think the generic levels or the generic links for the MACD is just using the 12 and the 26 EMA. So I think they simply use the exponential moving averages, but I'm not 100% sure though.
Let's see. Yeah, 12, 6.
So I'm in with 50 shares of BBGI. It's a small enough share sizing to where if this thing really reverses on me, I can just mark it out and not be too upset. But I did want to get in here. We did get the crossover, and I do think that if this thing starts to pop, the risk reward, like, it'll be a long-term winning play in the end. But
yeah, it's definitely holding that $2 kind of resistance level.
Right. And I might add a little bit of shares to this as well, if we can break like over 203s. But yeah, it looks like I'm probably just gonna have to jump out of this thing. I think we'll give it one more second. I'll tell you what though, ever since I made all those errors, I've definitely gotten much better at pressing enter before I switch share size. If anybody ever remembers the whole nonsense I got into with Thinkorswim.
Yeah, Thinkorswim is funky. Yeah, you have to definitely click off the screen a lot of times before you place the trade.
Right, and it's something you got to condition yourself to do because, you know, like I said, I never really got used to it until I started losing money. Speaking of ACB though, guys, look at ACB. I'm not going to say we told you so, but, you know, ACB is tanking down here. You know, pretty big drop, honestly. This thing dropped 40 cents in the first 5 minutes. So a very large drop in ACB. AMC is showing up on the scans. There we go. All right, so we're starting to get some moves back up for BBGI. We'll see if it holds. I usually don't hold my positions this long. Like, I usually sell at those areas, but I think that since the range is so small and my sizing is small, that I can try to be somewhat patient here.
Yeah,
but I think...
Holding.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's definitely holding that horizontally.
Right. And I think if it breaks over 203, I'm going to add 100 shares to it to get in with 150 shares and then just try to scalp that 100 shares out quickly. But AMC is popping off, guys. So watch AMC if you're looking for like a big runner in penny stocks. AMC is doing that right now.
Just by itself has kind of dropped a bit.
Yep.
Market.
Hopefully we get some volatility. Like, I could usually make money on the SPY as long as it's not sideways. All right, so here we go, guys. Here we go. All right, so in with 150 shares, like I said, we broke over that level, but it looks like I might have to bail out of this very quickly here. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to get out pretty fast here, 98s. We'll let it test $2 here one more time. We're about break even here, so it's nothing too crazy, but we want to let it break. The VWAP's kind of acting as that resistance that we never want to see. And so, you know, we'll see what we get, but not loving it. Yeah, I think I just got to get out of this. All right, so I got out a half. I got to get out the other 50 shares quickly here. I think we're going to squeeze down. Alright, so yeah, we got out less than $15 in losses, and that's okay. And this is why, like, we didn't have too many crossover setups this morning, to be honest. But, like, this is one of the reasons, and Caitlin even mentioned it earlier, which is, like, we need some extension away from the VWAP, right? And if I try to attack it too hard, when it's too close to the VWAP, we're going to get rejected there just like this. And I think Caitlin mentioned it earlier, and she was kind of right, which is that below at that 194 and 195 level, we did have some extension away from the VWAP, but once we get up there to 206, we just rejected that area hard. And so you can see it's following the VWAP pretty closely, honestly. But I don't see anything else that even looks good, though. Nothing else is really taken off in penny stocks. Maybe AMC.
SNDL maybe, but the range is really small.
Yeah, and it's super cheap, I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
What's up, Josh? What about scanners? Twitter going parabolic? Who just came from Warrior Trading live stream? That guy should be banned for pump and dumping. I mean, I don't think there's anything he can really do about it, though. Like I get it. Like, I get why. Like, I've been stuck in a Warrior Trading downward, like you know, squeeze. Like, I've been stuck in it. Look at THMO. THMO, guys, huge rip. Broke out of that range. Huge squeeze. Big move there. But no, what I was going to say is, like, there's nothing that Ross can do about it. Like, people blame Ross because his following's large. But it's like, listen, if I had 5,000 people watching this stream and I called out that I was in a stock, it would pump that stock up and then tank it when I sold. And so, you know, it's not even his fault. There's nothing he can do. It's inevitable. You know, you got a following like that, you're going to influence stocks sometimes, and it's not his fault, you know.
And unfortunately, a lot of people do follow him to the T.
Right.
So you don't only have Ross's money, you have everybody else's money.
For sure. All right, so I might take 1 or 2 futures trades here if we get over 334. Don't leave, guys. I'm still going to trade penny stocks. Every time I'm like, hey, I'm taking a futures trade, everybody, like all the penny stock traders leave. I'm still certainly going to trade penny stocks, and I've got a lot of equity in my account to trade them. So don't leave, guys. Don't leave me. I'll be personally offended by that, you know. But yeah, I might try some futures. You ever trade futures, Caitlin?
I haven't, no.
See?
I'm very curious. I watch you do it.
Right. It's if you could trade the SPY or the S&P 500, you could trade futures, and it's basically like people. I think the biggest misconception about futures is that they think it's like options trading because it has contracts, right? Like they think it's options trading, which is kind of like another world of trading.
Right.
It's not. Like it's simply like you buy market, you buy the bid, you sell the ask. It's just day trading, right? But the sizing's the only difference. And so it's like instead of buying 100 shares, you buy one contract, you know, and it's a little bit different than that. One contract equals 1250 up or down, you know, every tick the stock moves or every tick the futures contracts move is 1250 in profit or losses. But like that's like the only difference, you know.
Why 1250?
Each underlying asset has a different movement. So like with the Emini specifically, for I think it's every 25 cents the S&P 500 moves, it equals one tick up or down, and so it's $12.50 up or down.
Okay.
And then but for like crude oil, for instance, it's $10 every tick up or down. And so for each asset, it's a different. To be honest, I don't know why they're different, but for each asset, I'm guessing just because the price is different for each. Right, it's a different profit or loss every tick up or down. But aside from that, it's basically just like day trading. Like if we put this up, you could see. I'm watching the SPY here. If we start to break these highs, I might long it, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of a reversal as well. And in penny stocks, the only one I really see here, team, is THMO. Like that's the main, you know, ripping stock right now. I don't really see anything else that looks good.
It's moving.
Yeah, it's very slow, very slow.
Yeah.
I'm looking. DBVT is showing up on the scanner. So yeah, maybe DBVT actually, guys, is starting to break highs, but the volume is very, very light. I think a lot of people are just voting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes the most plausible sense, I think.
What are you guys in the chat watching? Also give this video a thumbs up.
Right. Hey, yeah, hit that like button. Oh, I forgot to pump up likes today, you know. I don't pump stocks up, but I do pump these like numbers up. So y'all hit that like button. We need 18 likes. You know you want to. Hit that like button, team. Everybody's doing it. Caitlin's doing it. I'm doing it. Han Solo over here is doing it. Y'all hit the like button, team. You know.
You gotta do it.
See, Simon's like, that's what I thought when I heard contracts with futures. Yeah, it's certainly worth it. Like, it just makes sense. Like, if you could trade momentum, you could trade futures. You're going to have more leverage most of the time. There's no PDT rule, and it's open almost 24/7. And so, like I said, it's like experienced trader heaven. It really is. But yeah, the only other one I see aside from THMO is DBVT from yesterday. It put a red to green move. And it's starting to rip.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one actually.
And we even got the crossover, but it's a little late.
Yeah, the volume is kind of low.
Yeah, for sure. And the only other one, like I can wait for JAKK to reverse, and I think that's, if I'm trading penny stocks, that's what I'm gonna do. Is just wait for this one to reverse and break highs up here. So like if this one does reverse, and it's a big if, and starts to break like 550 and then especially 555, then I might long it. The only issue, honestly, is that the VWAP is kind of close to that high level, so we'll see. AMC is starting to push up though, so look at AMC here as well. S&P 500 is moving up though. SPY is moving up, so I might trade a little bit of futures trading here. And yeah, just to show you guys real quick, if I can get into a trade, let's see if I can give you guys an example of futures trading so you can understand it. Let me get ready to trade. But yeah, I would look at like AMC and penny stocks. It's the one that I don't hate. Alright, so I'm in one contract of futures here. Let's see if I can get a quick little win from it. Yeah,
you got to make your money back from yesterday.
Yeah, maybe. I'm down 60 bucks now. I'm probably going to get out quickly here. Yeah, I got to get out. So I think I lost 80 bucks. So small, but we're going to wait for some more momentum and see if we get it. But yeah, point is, if you guys saw that trade, you guys see how easy that is. Like, it's just buying and selling, just like regular trading, right? It's just buying and selling, just like general stock trading. Very simple. All right, we're gonna try to jump in again. All right, so we're in another contract here. All right, so we just made 25 bucks. So see, very quick scalp. So we're down 45 on the day, but I'm sure we're gonna fight our way back here and make some money. But it's just like stock trading. It's simply like stock trading, and like this is the momentum we can attack on SPY. Red to green move, just like we attack in penny stocks, honestly. Same strategy. And I think the only reason I lost there is because I got a little bit impatient with that first trade. But, hey, listen. We'll take it.
DBVT made a move. DBVT.
Oh, yeah. See, that one is ripping. See, volume is finally coming in, but it's still too slow, I think. It's still too light. Maybe JAKK. One that's showing up on the scanner is AYRO. AYRO. But even that is pretty dull, to be honest. SPY pulling back. Alright, so I just scalped another $37 from futures. I'm down $11 on the day, so we're in the comeback trail. Caught this momentum from 342.20s. Maybe I should have held, but one of the things I hear so much in both penny stock and futures trading is like, oh, you should have held, you should have held. The reality is, the reason I have like a high accuracy rate is because I sell so quickly. Like, and sure, if I was trying to focus more on like really good risk reward, I would hold longer, but that would directly influence my accuracy in a negative way. And so for that reason, I just gotta stick with what works. In penny stocks, AMC is kind of making some moves. I think the float's larger than I usually trade here, but we are kind of making a move for AMC.
Especially with penny stocks, they're so volatile and they can move so fast that you don't want to hold them for a long time. For
sure. They'll tank on you so quick, and it is the most discouraging thing in the world. I don't think I've found anything more discouraging than when you're green in a penny stock trade and it just rips down on you. That is the most frustrating thing in the world. And I really think that's what's conditioned me to take profit so quickly as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's essential.
DBVT pulling a 1 minute pullback, still ripping up. Small range, but I know Caitlin mentioned this one earlier, and it's still pushing up too. SPY still hammering up. Maybe I should have held a little bit, but does Top Step provide you an in-browser trading graph? So yeah, so like all of this is Top Step. Like this is Top Step's platform, and it's the zero. Like there, if you use their platform, there's no commissions, right? And so like if we look at this is built directly into Top Step, right? So like this is all directly, like I can't manipulate this at all. Like, this is directly from Top Step. It shows you my P&L, like my profit graph, my trades and all that stuff. But yeah, it's directly built into Top Step, and then you can see this is their charting right here. Most of the time, though, I'm using Thinkorswim, and that's just my own personal preference, though. Like, that's just what I prefer. But you can obviously use this here. But I'm most of the time, and I think one of the keys to my success in futures is I use the SPY, and I'll watch the SPY instead of the Emini itself. And I think I can see a lot more stuff on the SPY based off of like the VWAP and pre-market movement, and I think that benefits me massively in futures.
Especially with Thinkorswim, there are so many benefits to the graphs and adding studies. It's so great.
For sure. Yeah, and Thinkorswim's really what I learned on. It's when I first started trading, I learned on Thinkorswim, and I've used Thinkorswim almost 100%. Like, I don't think I've ever really used any other charts except for when I traded on SureTrader 3 or 4 years ago. But aside from that, I've used Thinkorswim pretty consistently this entire time, and I think I always say it, but I think trading is just sticking with what you're comfortable with, and I think I'm comfortable for sure with Thinkorswim.
For sure. It definitely has its faults, but if you get over them and learn how to manage them, it's really good.
Right, 100%. Hey, what's up, Bailey? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. What I missed when you were gone? You missed a lot, to be honest. But hey, it's good to see you. I see you're still a member, Bailey. So I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life is going good, and good to see you. Yeah, Bailey is like a super OG member. She's been here for. I haven't seen her in like 8 months, 9 months. Been a while.
Where have you been, Bailey?
Probably COVID, I'm guessing. Would you suggest it for someone just starting out trading? Sorry, what was that? What were you saying?
I said, well, welcome back.
Right, for sure. Yeah. It's always cool. Like, I have these OG members, and like, you don't see them for like years, and then they'll pop up, and we had a guy, I had a guy, Rick, when I first started this YouTube channel, and like all I had was like 3 or 4 videos on SureTrader where I got like 10 views per video. I had like a bunch of trading buddies like Rick, and I had Chi, like I had a guy named Chi, and then I had a guy named Rick, and like they were like my trading buddies when I first got started like years and years ago. And I saw them pop up in the comment section not too long ago, and they were like, hey man, it's crazy, the channel's huge now. And I was like, yeah man, it has evolved. Awesome. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, you have a little community that turns into a big community.
Right, for sure. So would you suggest futures? Here's the thing, right? I think futures, specifically with like the sizing that you're using in futures, I think that 1250 every tick up or down might not sound like a lot, but it moves fast. So it's like, you could trade futures. If you could trade the market, you could trade futures, but you can't go any lower than 1250 every tick up or down. So like, think about if you can only trade 1,250 shares, you know what I mean? And so every cent up or down it moved, you're winning or losing, $12.50. And I think that you can trade futures as a new trader, but you need to limit yourself to like one contract, I would say. And if you can, then you'll be fine. I still think most new traders are going to lose, just because I think most new traders are just going to lose in trading, regardless of what they try. I think most traders are going to lose, because I do think there is a necessary experience, time that you're going to have to put in. But I do think you can, and I think, yeah, for sure. I think you have to watch the market, but yeah, I think you can, and I think with Top Step, it's so cheap that it's not going to be the end of the world if you do lose, I guess. Switch to swing trading. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, if you want to check it out, there's the link if you guys want to check out Top Step. But yeah, Bailey, we've had a lot of stuff change since you were here last. Mitch is no longer on the channel, so Mitch is no longer a partner on the channel, unfortunately. Still like my brother, and we just kind of started doing our own thing, and he's doing his own thing now. I still talk to him every week, at least, usually. I haven't heard from him, honestly, since the Rays lost. I know he was really rooting for the Rays, and so I hope he's doing okay, but I've been meaning to say hi every time I see my YouTube charge each month. If anyone is new here, you'll learn enough that I don't mind continued support for these folks. Hey, we appreciate that, Bailey.
Hey.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the patterns. So Simon, so I traded mid and high caps for years. You know, I eventually withdrew my money, but like in the last like year and a half, I had built up in mid and high caps specifically, like scalping trading. I had built up like $8,000 in profit, and I eventually withdrew that from TEFs and TradeNet when they stopped accepting and you know processing U.S. clients. But I did get that withdrawal, and it was the largest withdrawal I've gotten in trading. But the strategies that I implement in futures are those strategies. Like that's why, like, my first futures trade ever was less than a month ago. And so, you know, those strategies, specifically the scalping strategies that I used in mid and high caps, did translate exactly the same over to futures, because I'm essentially just trading the S&P 500. So those strategies are going to work most of the time, because most of the time when you're trading mid and high caps, you're kind of trading the S&P 500 too, just based off of the influence. But yeah, I think it does. I think some of them certainly do. DGLY isn't really that bad either. We got UAN, TRMT, BLRX. Yeah, BLRX is starting to make some moves, but it's all a little extended for me, to be honest, right now. Man, we got so many spammers now. Has anybody else here been getting hit? Hey, I appreciate the sub, Trey. Welcome, brother. Appreciate that. But has anybody else just been getting hammered with spam calls? Like, I get those calls and they're like, the Social Security Administration is gonna throw you in jail unless you pay me $7,326.29, and it's a robot voice, but it's obviously fake. Like, I get it, like they might get like old people to fall for that, but like they have just been blowing up my phone.
It's crazy how much time like these people, I mean, I'm sure it's all programmed in, so they probably now that much time, but I don't know, it's just insane.
Right. Yeah, they get super in depth with it. And I've almost fell for it before. Like, I remember one time some person was like, hey, your computer has a virus, and I must have been like 20 at the time, and yeah, they were like, hey, they were just like, open it up, and then they were telling me to like go to this website, and basically what they were gonna do is I was gonna give them access to my computer, and I stopped myself and I was like, wait a minute. And then I just kind of messed with them some, and they got kind of mad at me, and they were like, well, why did you go through all the process? And I was like, dude, you're trying to hack my computer, bro. Like, you're going to get mad at me.
Right? I know, yeah. They do get mad at you. There was one time when I don't know why, I was just so over it. So I pressed 0, and I got a real person. And they were like, give me your information. And I'm like, dude, no, like, don't call this number again. And they hung up on me.
Right. They get so mad, man. It's like, come on now, man. Like, you can at least be polite. You're trying to scam people here. Like, you want us to, like, you're going to get mad at us because we don't fall for it? Like, come on now, man.
I wonder how often they do scam people. It's really sad.
They continue to do it, so it has to be like a profitable endeavor for them. And I'm sure, like, listen, like, they get like an old person, like they get like a 70 or 80-year-old that doesn't kind of know the rounds with that type of stuff. I'm sure they could fall for it, you know. I'm sure they get them to fall for it for sure. At least some people.
That's funny. Sage says, I get a spam call at least once a month asking for rosemary. His name is Sage. That's funny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if they've got that Indian accent, it's almost certainly not the Social Security office.
Right? Yeah, no. Like your credit card has been impacted or something.
Right. You know, pay me with a bunch of gift cards, you know?
Yeah.
That's usually how it is. It's just kind of like, come on now. Gift cards.
No, you pay me. How about that?
Right. Like, you think the Social Security office is accepting gift cards for payments here? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just that fear, and for everybody listening, if it really is the Social Security office, it's almost certainly going to be like physical or email. It's not even going to be email. It's almost certainly going to be like physical mail that they're going to send you.
Yeah.
And so understand that, like, they're not going to just call you with a recorded message, unless it's like an actual person, and even then it's probably not true.
Right, even then it's probably sketchy, yeah.
Right. Like Social Security, they want to reach out to you. They're going to probably just send you like a letter.
And they probably have everything documented online. So like if you go to their official website, you could probably see everything now.
For sure. Right.
But it's the government, so who knows?
Right. Hey, what, you mean 70s? I mean, listen, I'm not saying all 70-year-old people are like that. I'm just saying, like, listen, objectively speaking here, people over the age of 70 are going to have less experience with technology. Just objectively speaking, it's just a fact. Based off of my dad, like, I know my dad's in his 60s. He calls me all the time needing, technology advice. And I'm not saying that every, person in their 60s or 70s or 80s is like that, but it's certainly a larger percentage.
Yeah. And I admire the older people who want to be technologically savvy.
Right, for sure. Yeah. As a programmer, you get a lot of, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that want to learn to program, and I can only respect it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I am not seeing anything in penny stock.
DBVT kind of is still heading up, but it's not enough volume for me to really want to get involved with it, though. It's still less than 200,000 shares traded on average per minute, and it's moving up, but it's just not the type of volume I necessarily want to see. It's just too dull. I think everything else is very slow.
I made a little bit of a profit in DBVT, but it's just so slow today.
Yeah, I lost a little bit on, what did I lose? I think it was BBGI. I lost like $15, and that's like the only trade I'm in, or I've been into today. And yeah, I mean, maybe ACB might reverse here. The other one that looked kind of good was AMC today, but even still, it's slowing down too.
Is there news on ACB, or is it just a sector?
Yeah, let me see. There might be news.
It looks like it's just a sector.
Yeah, I guess it is. It must be. The latest news that came out was okay, so here's this is the news in cannabis sector. So it says shares of several cannabis companies are trading higher after the 2020 U.S. presidential election, or ahead of the U.S. Presidential election. The Biden campaign has indicated it would decriminalize marijuana if elected. I mean, that's not good enough, though. I mean, like, listen, I would respect Biden a lot more if he would be real about it, because he's getting so much PAC money from large pharmaceutical companies that he's never going to decriminalize cannabis. Like, he's just not. He's been very underspoken on that. He hasn't spoken much on that at all, and I think he does that because he knows, like, he's getting a lot of funding from these. He's getting a lot of PAC money from these corporations and lobbyists that want to keep it illegal, for sure. And that's why he hasn't spoken on it at all, because he knows if he comes out and just straight says I'm anti-marijuana legalization, it's gonna hurt him in the campaign.
It's just crazy to see how much of an economy boost it's given Colorado, and I think if we decriminalize it, it would just give the United States so much economy and tax revenue.
Right, for sure. I don't understand the argument. I know people, like, the most common argument I hear is like, why should we legalize another drug? And like, I get the argument, but it's not about legalizing another drug. It's about looking at the entire picture of things that are legal and having like an objective and even standard of those things, right? Like, so it's like, if you're selling liquor at gas stations, like an objectively more harmful drug that is way worse on your body, way worse on toxicity as a whole, and just terrible for you. If you're selling cigarettes at the stores, if you're selling all that at gas stations, but you're trying to demonize cannabis, it's just a very hypocritical thing. And you know, at a certain point, like, regardless of the propaganda you hear from people wanting to keep it illegal, which is mostly law enforcement, to be honest, and it's understandable why they want to keep it illegal, because they're making money from locking people up and from charging people for it. And it's also the private prison industry as well. But at a certain point, I think we just need to drop that and understand, like, it's a losing argument to try to keep it illegal, and like, it's going to boost the economy so much. Like, it needs to happen, you know.
Well, also, I think there's been so much education in the past 10 years even about cannabis and weed. Like, when I was growing up, it was a gateway drug to heroin and like all these different drugs, you know. So it just, I don't know, it's definitely, times have changed, and I think, I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely the culture is changing, certainly.
For sure.
And I hope it does, and it's time. I remember when I was like 15, I was like, yeah, by the time I'm 30, cannabis is gonna be, or weed's gonna be legal, and now I'm 30 and it's not.
Right? Yeah. No, it's when I was growing up, we were gonna have flying cars. So.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I guess you gotta have reasonable expectations. The market's flying though. Look at this. The SPY is flying right now, guys. Big rips, big moves. I wish I would have taken some in futures, but I'm still down my little $11 here.
Come on,
but a huge rip. I'm still watching JAKK though. If that one can reverse, I'll still attack that.
Yes, definitely. It's trying.
Right. Alright, so I did make a little bit of money just now in futures. I scalped this little 1 minute pullback here and kind of rode the candle up and down. I'm up $22 on the day, if you guys want to see that. But I'm honestly wanting to trade penny stocks. Like, that's really what I'm kind of trying to trade. But I just don't see anything right now.
I know, I'm the same way.
SUP actually is starting to get a little bit of volume. It's still very slow, but like, I'm watching this 208 level, the high from yesterday at 208 for SUP. So maybe that one looks good. And I'm still looking at JAKK. That one still doesn't look terrible either.
Yeah, JAKK might be doing something.
Right. Also, yeah, it's not a gateway drug. That's ridiculous. The only reason cannabis is a gateway drug is because you have to go to an illegal drug dealer to buy it, who's eventually going to offer you some other drugs. And if you think about that, like, really think about that. If you genuinely think cannabis is a gateway drug, objectively think about that statement, which is that the only reason it's a gateway drug is because you have to go to an illegal drug dealer to buy it, and eventually that drug dealer is going to offer you other stuff, right? To where if you went to a licensed dispensary, you wouldn't have that problem. It would no longer be a gateway drug. You want it to stop being a gateway drug, legalize it. Like, objectively speaking, like, that's facts. Like, that's the honest truth. And regardless of what bias you have towards it, that's the honest truth. Like, if you're being reasonable and you genuinely think about that objectively, you know that's facts, and you know that's the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. Gateway drugs, in my opinion, I'm not sure. I don't know. Weed, it just isn't there. There, alcohol and caffeine, I think, are
Right.
kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a gateway drug. It's not a gateway drug.
Yeah, I did a project on weed legalization in college, and I remember my thesis statement was that weed isn't a gateway drug. And then I asked everybody in the class, I said, hey, has anybody drank coffee today? Has anybody had coffee today? And like, everybody raised their hands. And then I said, I said, because you drank coffee today, it's not going to be enough for you, and you're going to try cocaine and die, you know.
Right.
And everybody laughed, but it got the point across that, like, saying it's a gateway drug is nonsense, you know.
Yeah. Like, it's not the drug. It's you.
Right. For sure. And it's also who you're getting it from, because, like I said, they're eventually going to offer you other stuff if it's a legal drug dealer. You know, that's just kind of how it goes.
For sure.
So I'm looking at JAKK here. This one is starting to move. We broke the 550s, but then we rejected at the VWAP. But if we break 556 or 557, then it's going to make some moves, I think. And so I don't mind trading it if we do break those levels, but I do think I have to wait for that as well.
Yeah, SUP kind of almost hitting market highs from yesterday.
Weed opens the gates to the golden arches of McDonald's. That's right. Yeah. All right, so we're at 47s for JAKK. I'm still watching it. We're gonna see. The state of New Hampshire sells liquor at their rest areas.
Oh no, where's Bailey's emoji?
Yeah, flex, man, flex. For the guy that it literally is claiming it's a gateway drug, what do you have? Like, do you agree with what I said about the whole illegal drug dealer thing? Like, I'm not trying to argue. Listen, I respect you, love all of you, not trying to argue. I genuinely want to hear your perspective on that, because I think that most people claiming it's a gateway drug, when they hear that argument, they don't want to follow through because it makes too much sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do in America is a drug. Yeah, for sure. Alcohol, cigarettes, coffee, it's all drugs.
And also, drugs and consuming drugs and addiction are extremely different.
For sure. JKK dropping too much.
Yeah, it kind of peaked at that 557 level.
Right, yeah, and it broke, so I'm glad I didn't get, talked into buying it there, but I'm just, honestly, it's so slow today, I'm just kind of waiting for something to trade.
I know, it's like I want to trade something, but today just might not be the day.
I like the new approach. I mean, the drug dealer theory, just because my dealer offers. I mean, just because you might not doesn't mean other people won't. And I think at a certain point, like I said, I think at a certain point, if you're going to somebody like that, it's going to be a certain percentage of people are going to move up based off of that, objectively speaking. So even if you don't, I still think a percentage of people will. And I think the way to get around that is by legalizing it and having licensed dispensaries that aren't going to do that, because I think that that's how it happens for sure. All right, so hey, JAKK starting to move up. I'm getting ready here. Let's see if I can jump in. All right, so I'm in with 50 shares of JAKK. I'm gonna try to add some more. I just wanted to get some while I could here. And so we're gonna buy another 50 shares. We're at 100 shares now. Nice, nice squeeze up. See if we can hold here.
See, that's a good example, I think, of a pullback in the market. And
right. All right, so we're starting to pop off here for JAKK. All right, so I sold half. Not what I wanted to happen there, but maybe I'll add some more here. I don't mind this little pullback, actually. See if I can get filled. All right, I got filled there. I'm in with another 100 shares, and we're gonna try to scale out of it if we can. Man, these pullbacks are hurting me. Like, I get into them and then it just tanks on me with where I wanted. I don't hate this too. Like, I like this move, but
Yeah.
we're gonna try to jump back in, I guess, on this little dip. All right, we're back in with 100 shares.
I always forget about the level 2 when reading the level 2. I do like it, but
Right.
I forget
Yeah,
about-
I find myself unconsciously using it, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely has to be there popped up on my screen for me to use it, and then when it is, I use it, but if it's
Right.
not there, I forget about it.
Right, exactly. Alright, so we're trying to give this some time here. I'm in 100 shares. We might add a little bit more. Alright, so we're 200 shares now. We're going to see how this goes. Beautiful. Alright, we're going to get out. Alright, so we nailed it. We caught that add to it. So we're up $16 in it. We made our money. I probably could have held on to a little bit there. So I'm a little bit bummed out I didn't stay with it, but it's just a quick scalp. And with that, we're green on the day. But yeah, see, there we go, moving up some. And it's honestly, even though it's not the biggest win, it's a good lesson on like making a plan and like patiently waiting for these type of moves. Because I think I got stuck in a little bit of FOMO with BBGI this morning. I didn't want to miss it. But then after that, it kind of got my mind right, and I had the discipline to wait for it. And, you know, Kaylin and I have been talking about this one for the last, like, hour? And we finally got the move that we wanted from it, so I was luckily able to take advantage. But we are green slightly on the day, but green nevertheless.
Yeah, and
green
I think
nonetheless.
you
Sorry,
talk
go.
about this a lot where it kind of pulls back when market open, and then crosses over, and then
Right.
surpasses the VWAP and kind of just rips from there. So
Right.
that was a great play. I love that.
No. Yeah, it works out a huge amount of the time, and it's the red to green crossover we talk about a ton, and it certainly works. One of the most popular videos I've ever done is the back testing of this moving average crossover setup and kind of coming to these conclusions. And it certainly works. I think if I have an issue with trading, it's scaling out, and I should probably try to condition myself to not exit the full position and get a little bit overzealous with exiting.
Yeah, so Sage asked about the PDT. I think you and I do the same thing where we use the cash account and kind of use half of it one day, half of it another day.
Right.
And that's a good way to get past the PDT rule.
Right, exactly, and that's what you do. Like, I think, and honestly, I think a lot of traders and new traders don't realize this, and so they're all frustrated with the PDT rule. But like, listen, guys, even if you have a $2,000 account, right? Like, if you've got a $2,000 account, you can use, like Caitlin said, you can use half of your equity one day, half of your equity the next, and there's no PDT rule. Like, you don't have the PDT rule on a cash account. If you've got a $2,000 cash account, you don't have the PDT rule. You do have the T2 rule, though, so you have to wait 2 days after each trade for those funds to settle. But the way you get around that is you use half of your equity one day, and then half of your equity to the next. And then by the time the next day rolls around, the funds from that first day are going to be settled. So you're going to get your $1,000 back, and you can just use $1,000 one day, $1,000 the next, $1,000 one day, $1,000 the next. And so if you have $2,000, you can use $1,000 and trade every day. You know, you could trade, 20, 30, 35 times a week, depending on your sizing. Are you going to be able to trade with thousands of shares? No. But you can trade with hundreds of shares, certainly, and be fine and make small wins. But honestly, if you have a $2,000 account, you don't want to trade thousands of shares. Like, that's not what you want to do anyway. So, your point is, if you have a cash account, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade as much as you want, and I do every day. I day trade consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. What's the SPY doing?
SPY is still ripping, man, and I feel kind of a little bit of FOMO, to be honest, from it. It's strong into election day.
That's weird. That's crazy.
Yeah. I would especially think, considering how uncertain this election is. There goes JAKK trying to break over highs again, just to put that out there. But I would think, considering the uncertainty of this election, that it would be a little bit low volume today. But I guess I was wrong in that.
Kind of crazy. I've seen pictures of big cities like boarding up, no matter who wins, no matter like regardless of Trump or Biden winning, they're boarding up the city.
Right.
Like,
my wife is nervous about what's going to happen after election day, regardless of who wins. She thinks that if Trump wins, there's going to be riots, and that if Biden wins, there's going to be, there's going to be riots either way, she thinks. And so she's a little bit nervous about it. I don't think there will be. I think I'm just ready to be over. So I'm honestly very excited that today's election day and that it's just going to be over, because I'm just ready for it to end.
I agree. Hopefully America's stronger than everybody's kind of assuming it is, and we're better people than rioting.
Right.
Because democracy is democracy, and even if it's not perfect, it's what we have. So,
right. Yeah, I saw somebody I knew on Facebook actually post like a really good post explaining that, and he was basically like, he said for 200 years now, there's been a peaceful transition of power from the presidency. Let's respect whoever wins. Whoever wins, let's just respect whoever wins. Let's put our faith in them, and let's not get manipulated by the media. Because I think that's what it really is a lot of the time. Like, there's been a peaceful transition for hundreds of years. Even if the person that wins tonight is not who you initially wanted, let's get behind them, have faith in them, and not be manipulated by the media.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because I guess the whole point is, like, the media is going to make you think the world's going to end if, like, your person's not getting elected. Like, they're going to make you think that the world's just going to end. And that's not true. Life will go on regardless.
Yeah, you said something the other week, and it kind of resonated with me. If you're a cheerleader for any politician or any party, it's kind of on you.
Right.
Like, you really shouldn't be like super passionate about any one person.
Right.
But
for sure,
it's not a marriage. It's it's a road to a destination.
Absolutely. You got to go by policies, not the person. Because if you follow the media, they're gonna demonize whoever it is. They did it with Obama. They're doing it with Trump, and I'm sure whoever wins tonight, they're gonna do it with him too. And I think you got to check yourself out of that and understand that the media is doing that to you on both sides. And check yourself out of that nonsense and just try to be objective and look at policies. Because I'll tell you this, Trump's not the most conservative policymaker. He really isn't. Obama wasn't the most liberal policymaker either. He wasn't. And so demonizing, whoever gets elected based off of that is just usually not accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And JAKK ended up failing here.
Good.
We still got a little pullback. Yesterday I got into a trade where we pulled back to like that previous high. In this case it would be right here at like 555, and then I kind of dip bought that. And so I'm looking at this here, considering it.
Okay, so Eric said, I thought the election results are today or tomorrow, not today. I don't know. Every year besides 2016, it's kind of been, the results have been on election day, right?
Right. It's usually, the way it is usually by like midnight tonight, we're going to know who's going to win. Mm-hmm. Now, it might not be finalized. They might not have the concession speech and all that stuff. But like usually by tonight, by like midnight tonight, we'll probably know who's going to win. Now, I don't know if it's going to change based off of COVID and like mail-in ballots. Like, I don't know how all that's going to work. But yeah, we should know based off of just, a few states' results tonight who's going to win.
Right. Yeah, there was Michigan and Pennsylvania, I think, have weird rules about that, and it kind of delays the process of the count votes. But yeah, hopefully it'll be tonight. Yeah.
Right. And I think we will. I think we'll know.
It's exciting. I can't wait for it to be over.
Right. I'm honestly super excited for it to just be done. Marlon says, I'm Canadian, and if you remember 2011 and we rioted when we lost a hockey trophy. Hey, dude, listen, my stepdad's Canadian. And honestly, fun fact, I actually played ice hockey as a kid. I played, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we used to have an ice hockey team called the Kingfish. It wasn't like a profession. It was like a mid. It wasn't like the pros. It was like the step down from that. So it was like a professional team, but it wasn't, it wasn't like in the NHL. But with that, I played on the Pee Wee Kingfish. Like I played ice hockey. Like I can actually ice skate really well, and I played ice hockey. Believe it or not, you would never think somebody from Louisiana would be, but I actually am a solid hockey player.
Yeah, that's awesome. When was the last time you got on the rink?
So the last time I ice skated was a year ago during the holidays. Like we had ice rinks here, and my wife didn't know I ice skated, and so when I actually started, she was like, "Oh my gosh, like what the heck is going on?" But I haven't actually played ice hockey in decades.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, but my stepdad is Canadian, so he. They're all about their hockey.
Oh yeah.
Like here in Louisiana, or here in the South, we're all about baseball and football. Canadians are all about their hockey. Man, the market is hammering up, man. Surprising how strong the market is. Look at this.
Are you gonna go back into futures?
Potentially. We break 338s. I might try to scalp, but we're honestly so extended at this point that you got to be careful because eventually it's gonna come down, I think. But I'm watching it. We might. We'll try it maybe here. See if we get over 338s. We'll try to scalp a little bit maybe. And I wouldn't mind like a stronger pullback here. Like we got a few candles, but like a larger pullback to wait for, I think is the right move sometimes.
Eric, what's up? 106 on the day. I'm JKK.
Hey, nice work, brother. Oh, Han, come on, bro. Don't be emotional about politics, man. It is what it is. Like I said, I'll say it this way: if you genuinely hate one side, you're getting wrapped up in the political propaganda machine, brother. Like either side, like I said, whether you're super emotional about Trump winning or super emotional about Biden winning, don't get wrapped up in the political machine, bro. It's all nonsense.
There's no room for hate.
Right. Let's not hate either one of them. They're, like I said, looking back, Trump has not been the most conservative president, regardless of what the media says. Obama was not the most liberal president either. And so, pretending like they are, not usually accurate.
20 years ago, Donald Trump was a Democrat.
Right, for sure. He was holding up, pride flags and stuff too. That's what I'm saying. Like it's interesting, the political machine and what the propaganda can do to people.
Yeah.
VISL is breaking over the previous closing price, and so that is maybe one to watch. So the SPY did pull back some, so we're gonna keep an eye on this at 337.50.
Yeah, it's gaining the volume on VISL.
Right. Yeah, I'm just ready for it to be over, guys. My chat has been super just argumentative the last week, man. And yeah, maybe I'm not doing the best at moderating that. Like I said, you guys know me. I'm very in the middle. And so, like, if you think Trump is God's gift to man, you're certainly wrong. And if you think he's just some evil conservative guy, I think you're certainly wrong too. I think it's just, I think the media wants you to believe it. And, if anything, I'm just anti-media. I think, not anti-media, but I'm anti-political media, because I just think there's so much bias on both sides. None of them are real.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the media, especially, and I think it's really important to watch media on both sides and get both sides of the coverage.
For sure.
Sage asked if I'm up today. Yes, I am up on 2 trades and then down on the BBGI trade that I took this morning.
Yeah, I see. I think I'm up a whopping $1.35 today, guys. Killing it,
It was green.
But hey, I had 2 trades, so I'm 50% today. But I'm green, so, green is green, I guess.
I'm up $1.86. So I'm right there with you.
See, remember what I talked about with JAKK about how yesterday I started to dip by the pullback to that previous high? In this case, it was at 555. Look at that, man. That would have worked out perfectly. I think I might start attacking those because that worked yesterday. It worked today. Waiting for a red to green move, and then instead of jumping in on this high break, instead jumping in on the pullback if the VWAP and that previous high line up here. I think that's going to be a really profitable setup in penny stocks. It's one that I kind of want to back test. I might make a back testing video on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Glenn says either way, just go vote. I think that's important. I know you're not voting, but it's not just the president,
Right. Yeah, speak your mind, guys. Like I said, if I wasn't so torn straight down the middle, I would vote. But like I said, I'm very socially liberal and financially conservative in a lot of ways. The reason I'm not really voting is because, to be honest, I don't really trust Biden on the socially liberal side. I just don't trust him. I think that he's getting too much money from big corporations and the elite. Same thing with Trump. I don't really trust him in that regard either.
Yeah, I think trust is a huge thing nowadays, and especially with like funding. And I know kind of that's a big thing with Trump is he doesn't really get funding by these huge corporations that I'm sure he does, but
for sure he does.
Not like Biden, not like Biden,
Right.
But that has been a huge issue in the past years is funding.
Right, for sure. Where a lot of the time, our elections are just decided by the huge corporations. And it's a scary thing, to be honest, but, it is what it is. That's why I just try to step away from the political machine and, if it's something that, directly influences my, livelihood, I might be passionate about it, but,
Right.
Yeah, JKK failed. Look at that.
Big time.
I might look for a pullback for futures though, for the SPY. I might look for a pullback here for futures. If the SPY pulls back to 336.50 right here, then I might look for a rip. That or we break highs again. I might go long on the high break for a quick trade.
You can short in futures, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you can long, short, and that's what I'm saying. For experienced traders, it really is like heaven. You can short, you can go long, very easy to do. It's not like you have to find shares to borrow or anything like that in futures. It's very easy and simple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely these comments, man. I don't know. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party has just been so divisive. I think there almost needs to be a new
party.
A new party that's just almost socially liberal, fiscally conservative, or just moderate,
Right.
it's unfortunate because the way our democracy works, it is the Democratic versus Republican Party, no matter kind of you want to vote the Green Party or Libertarian. It really isn't that way. It's just
it's so like it's so divisive and polarized. Like in the end, like it used to be if even if you disagreed with somebody, that was okay, like politically speaking. Nowadays it's like you're so ostracized if you vote for if you support the wrong people. In my opinion, Biden has said obviously racist things, like obviously racist. He's been a career politician for 40 years. I just don't trust him. But Trump said some very questionable things as well, some certainly racist things that Trump has said as well, and so I don't trust him either. And so when you don't trust either one, what are you supposed to do? Either way, like Biden can't string a sentence together. Let's be honest here. Trump can't string a sentence together without sounding crazy or dumb. And so, like I said, if I talk too much on it, I'm just gonna make both sides mad, to be honest.
Right? Yeah.
But
no, almost like there should be like a black party or something, like
right.
all the colors just mixed,
Right. Just stop all the nonsense. And somebody's asking me, what do I believe in socially? I believe in, obviously I believe in LGBTQ rights. I believe in, marijuana legalization. I believe in a certain amount of gun control, even living in Texas. We could go, I believe in, I do support some levels of abortion depending on what it is. So like I said, I'm very socially liberal in those ways. Not completely, because I don't think anybody's 100% either way. And I think if you try to pretend you are, you're either just desperate to fit in or dumb. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and I'm not, like, I'm very socially liberal is the point. But financially, I'm a conservative, and I think I would be a massive hypocrite if I wasn't, just because I sit here and I trade stocks every day and I run my own businesses. And so if I wasn't a conservative in that way, I would be kind of dumb as well. So I think, yeah, it's just so divisive.
Regardless of what you believe in, it's just like we all need to respect each other's opinions, and we all have to just love. It's just been so divisive recently, and
right,
it's not worth it,
Right. All right, so we're starting to pull back to the SPY. So I'm looking at 336.50. This is the pullback I was lucky to not get caught in. We do have JAKK pulling back underneath the VWAP. That one looks all right. And look at AMC, guys. AMC starting to reverse and head back up. And so we'll wait and see if we break 250s. That's not too bad. But penny stocks hella dull today.
Super, yeah. So I changed the battery of my MacBook Pro.
Oh yeah.
That was very exciting, right?
Right.
But before I did that, I bought a brand new MacBook.
Oh, well.
So, I don't know. I don't know whether I should keep my old one or keep the new one.
I've never been much of a Mac person. I've always been a PC person. I think Macs are too inclusive, to where
Apple, yeah,
they are super easy to use though. I'll give Apple credit. Like my wife has some Apple computers, and like they are way easier to use, and they feel better. To be honest,
they're smoother.
Right.
Yeah, it's so much simpler and better than a PC. But then they are so inclusive, and yeah, it's almost like Apple's got me. You know?
For sure. And Steve Jobs was like that. He planned that out. Like he knew. Like he got into arguments with the co-creator of Apple. I can't remember his name.
Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, Steve Wozniak. He got into arguments with Steve about inclusive, about whether to make them super inclusive and like whether to allow like products that were not Apple to have like software and to have like compatibility with their products. And so way back in the 70s, they were planning that inclusivity, I guess, and it makes sense in the long run, certainly. And so Steve Jobs actually knew what he was talking about, but it is a pain in the butt for us.
They completely monopolized. Yep.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. But even to the point where like the new MacBook I have to get the adapters for the HDMI and the like everything. It's like, come on.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, somebody said I think the real debate we should have here is Apple versus Samsung. Yeah, I got a Samsung. No, I have a Note actually.
Okay.
And I love the Note. It's huge. It's super compatible with everything. If I want to download music, I can. You know.
Is that the one with the stylus or no?
Yeah. I have the stylus. I think I lost it. Oh no, I didn't. I still have it. But yeah, they still have it. I never use it, to be honest. But I think if I like drew or stuff, I would. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I just watched a video of the new iPhone 12, kind of the replaceability. That's not a word, but how replaceable the iPhone is, the parts, and even switching out the same parts of the same iPhone, it completely screws up the phone. So
Right.
It's like so inclusive now, where you can't even exchange parts of the same phone,
Right.
which is kind of crazy. But I don't know.
Yeah. Even down to it's all super inclusive. Like if you break anything on an iPhone, they're gonna charge you for it. You know, you're not gonna be able to order the generic version off of Amazon. Like you're gonna have to go to them, and then you're
Right.
gonna have to pay them for it. Even like programming languages, like like different devices, a lot of them will use like a universal language, which is like most of the time with like mobile, it's like Java, right? But even Apple is different in that regard. Like Apple has their own programming language with Swift now, and so it's like they're even inclusive with regard to like their programming languages that they use. It's like their own programming language now with Swift, as opposed to like Java or like all the other languages that people use to create mobile applications. Luckily though, React and React Native kind of fixes that to a certain extent, but even in the programming department, they are very inclusive.
They really are. Yeah, I had to. Well, you either have to do like a remote PC connection on your Apple or buy a PC for for my programming classes, for instance.
Right.
Which is such a pain in the butt, but.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, somebody here said most programmers are PC. Certainly they are. I mean, some of them are Apple, but PCs are the programmer's computer, I think.
For sure.
All right, so we got the SPY dropping a little bit here. We'll try to trade some futures. I mean, that's the only thing I can think to potentially trade here. We're getting a little bit of a dip. Remember, I said 336.50, and we actually just got a bounce a little bit before then, so I wasn't quite able to get that trade in. And like I said, guys, I know we've been talking about politics a lot today. Regardless of what your stance is, I love you all. I don't want it to seem like I'm like shilling for either side, and I hope you guys can understand that. Like, I respect your opinion either way, team. I really do, and I'm just ready for this to be over.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
it's all love.
Right. You gotta, and that's what I think we're missing a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, for sure, is the empathy part.
Right, exactly. We're all just people. Everybody has their own environmental experiences growing up, and with that, you're gonna have different viewpoints based off of those experiences, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just kind of the different, ways of life that people have, and the different environmental factors influence a huge amount of your personality, like all that stuff. And so, it's the same with politics.
Yeah, exactly. Your parents, who you grew up around, everything.
Right, for sure. You're almost certainly, when you're very young, you're almost always going to go with your parents' political party. And it's pretty normal, I think. I'm kind of looking at SNDL here, and I'm kind of looking at the SPY to see if we're going to get some futures played. But penny stocks DBVT is still kind of holding strong. It's sitting right at $2 now for DBVT. I am feeling noticeably better today, though, so I'm hoping I'm just going to get better. I'm ready.
Yeah, you definitely sound better.
Yeah, yesterday, it was hard for me to honestly get up and work. It was, Caitlin was supposed to come on. Hey, I appreciate the sub. AD, thank you, man. Y'all be like them. Hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the support, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. Also, y'all go check out Caitlin's channel. I was going to say, she was supposed to come on stream yesterday, but I just didn't have it in me to, for any type of like different type of stream. I just wanted to keep it simple yesterday, but so I canceled on her at the last minute. So y'all go show love to her channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna post her link here real quick.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, somebody said, do you know anybody that has graduated from Top Step? There's a lot of people on YouTube. Like, I've seen a bunch. And like I said, Top Step, a lot of these notoriously strict. Yeah, here's Caitlin's channel, by the way. Y'all go sub to her.
For sure, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, Top Step is like one of the highest reviewed funded account programs I've seen. Like, funded account programs are always going to have a certain amount of people that hate on them, right? Whether they're taken overseas or whether they're overseas and all that good stuff. Top Step is regulated in the US, I'm pretty sure. And it's very highly reviewed relative to any other funded account program I've seen. I think it's the most regulated and the most reviewed, and I think it's very legit. And so the way it works is there's different stages. The first stage, you have to prove you're profitable. With the base one, it's a 30K program, and so I think it's $130 a month. And if you can build up, I think it's like $2,000 in profit without losing, like I think it's like $1,500. So it's not a huge difference. It's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio total, I think. But if you can build up that 2K in profit while following their rules, and you can pass the second phase, then they fund you $30,000 and legitimately fund you with an 80% profit split as a proprietary futures trader. And I think that could be very valuable for somebody that's a good trader but doesn't have the money to really fund themselves. And so yeah, there's the link if you want to check it out. Slow market, gotta entertain myself. Yeah, usually when it's slow, everybody's always like, talk about trades, and I'm sitting here like, what trades?
Right, exactly, I know.
There's nothing, right, there's nothing to talk about. Maybe IEA is looking okay. I'm still looking at the SPY itself, but I'm not trading. I mean, that's why I'm just kind of sitting here BSing because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, I'm still looking at it, but I think I'm probably done for right now.
Yeah, I think I'm certainly done with penny stocks, I think, but.
For sure, yeah, look at futures.
I used Windows for programming for a long time, switched to Mac a couple years ago, and it's a lot better for most aspects. That's not too bad. I mean, I know Macs are powerful computers as well. They're just less versatile in a lot of ways. Good morning. I need your opinion. I am setting up a new office. Would you use Apple or Windows-based computers? I mean, I'm a Windows guy. Number one, here's the problem. This is the biggest issue I have with Mac, honestly. They're so expensive, man. They're so expensive. Like you can get if you buy Windows or if you buy PC, I mean, you can get i7, 16 gig powerful gaming computer for like $700, $800, like a desktop, right? Mm-hmm. You could buy a powerful laptop, like i7, 16, 32 gig, whatever it is, right? A laptop for a PC for like what, like $1,500, $1,400? You try to buy an Apple with those specs, it's gonna be running you what, $4,000, $5,000, something super expensive, to be honest.
If they even have it.
Right, yeah. If they even have it, exactly. And that is my biggest problem with Mac, is that they're so expensive relative to PCs, and like, I need some good specs. Like, I need an i7, a lot of RAM, a lot of memory. And like, I'm not about to shell out $5,000 for a computer that I'm gonna have to replace in a few years. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make financial sense for me.
Yeah, definitely for the office, I probably recommend Mac or PC, not Mac.
Right.
But for personal use, I like Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I had to choose which computer I would prefer to use, like based off of like ease of use, it would certainly be a Mac. But like the other factors cancel that, Is that your wife? No, so this is Caitlin. She's another YouTuber. She's just the guest on stream today. Like I said, you want to check out her channel. Here's that link. Oh, no, wait, that's Top Step. So yeah, here's the Top Step link. Or no, here, I'll just post her link. I think I already did the Top Step. But yeah, y'all go sub to her channel. PC more compatible with other programs and can upgrade memory. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is Carol coming on anytime soon?
Not lately. So Carol has been a trooper with me. Like, I've been sick, dealing with not only stomach issues, but the last like 2 days a cold. And she's been basically having, especially the last 2 or 3 days, she's been having to take care of the kids for me. So I think whenever they go to school, she is just resting up because she's been super supportive of me and been taking care of me basically for the last few weeks. So
Awesome.
I'll try to get her on stream one day, but most of the time when I get her on stream, she'll be like, "Hey, I'll come on stream if you let me rest afterwards. If you let me rest afterwards, or if you pick the kids up from school today, you know."
Incentivize it.
Right. She's got I got to bribe her to do it. So, yeah. It's so with being sick, I just don't have the energy to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to trade futures. I just don't really see anything that I like yet. Maybe if we get like a little pullback here to 337.19s, I'll try it. We'll wait for that though. On the SPY, 337s. Um, 35s. Let's see if we get a little pullback here to buy into. Alright, I don't mind this. Alright, so I am in with one contract here. Ooh, might be getting squeezed against me. Alright, we're looking a little bit better. We'll see if we pop up here. Alright, so we just scalped a $25 gain. Like I said, we were trying to catch that little bounce. We are up $44 on the day in futures, so we caught a little bit. And I hope you guys see how short-term these trades are. These are just very short-term trades, very quick trades. Somebody asked me earlier, I can't remember who it was, but it's just such... basically, it's like there's a lot of different nuances to it. But like just to try to explain this last trade the best I could, it was just one contract, but I looked for a big support or resistance level. In this case, we had this one at like 337.19, I think I talked about. Let me pull this moving averages off so we can see it, because I'm not using the moving averages at all for this. But yeah, so we had this 337.19 level right here, and I assumed that if we pulled back to 337.19, so if we pulled back to this, I assumed that we would bounce very short term, and that's exactly what we got. So like we pulled back to this level very quickly. We had some confirmation short term previously. And so as we pulled back to this level, I just bought one contract and rode this bounce up right here. And like that's all I really did. Very short term, kind of using candle-based movement to predict it, but very simple strategy that works really well, especially if you put in like a decent number of trades. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's right. You know. Yeah, being married, it's certainly a team. You know, it's got to be. And there we go. That's way easier to see. Yeah, a lot of teamwork in marriage, I think. But yeah, guys, I think I'm probably about to close it down. I don't see anything I really like right now. Aside from that last little futures trade, I think I'm probably just gonna hang it up.
Don't forget to vote, guys, and like.
Right. Yeah, hit that like button. Y'all go check out Caitlin's channel. We'll put that. I'll drop this link one more time. I'm sure we'll have her back on stream one day.
For sure.
But yeah, y'all go sub. Also, if you want to help support your boy here, I'll post this link and you can go check out Top Step. The way it works is if you can prove yourself as a proprietary trader, there's different stages. They give you a 30K demo account with the base package, and if you can prove yourself and make their profit target while following their rules, they legitimately fund you $30,000 as a proprietary futures trader with an 80% profit split. So if you make $1,000, you get to keep 800, they get to keep 200, And then you also get to keep 100% of your first withdrawal up to, I think, $5,000. It's very cheap relative to most other funded account programs. The base one for 30K is $130, but they do have programs going all the way up to like over $100,000 programs. So y'all go check it out. It is one of the most highly reviewed. And there's the link. Y'all go check that out. Also, the World Series of Day Trading, I believe, starts tomorrow. And so, unfortunately, if you're in the U.S., you will not be able to be a part of it. So, like, you won't be able to compete in the World Series of Day Trading. But if you are overseas, if you're in Mexico, Europe, Asia, Canada, wherever, you can participate in the World Series of Day Trading. It's completely free. They're going to give you a demo account for a week. And the top traders, the traders that perform the best with that demo account over that week are going to place in the competition and win free trading packages that you can make money with. It's a completely free competition for those that are not located in the U.S. And here's the link. You can join my team. I am a team leader. My team has performed in the top 3 every single World Series of Day Trading. I'm not going to be able to compete in it, unfortunately, this year. But there's the link, guys. And yeah, if Caitlin doesn't have anything else to say, like I said, y'all go sub to our channel. We're going to go ahead and close it down. Good luck in the market, guys. Y'all be safe. Remember, no matter what happens tonight, life will go on. The country will be fine. And,
sure.
Right. Show love, guys. Show love.
You're good. Yeah.
Later, team. Yeah, y'all thank Caitlin for being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Have a good day, team.